of Learning proudly present the Rise Wellness and Resilience series, centered on resilient parenting, cultivating your child's resilience. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, hi, I'm Tanya, and this show is an 11-part series digging deep into the Rise framework, covering the 4 core pieces of Rise, Wellness, and Resilience. This includes, first, R, relationships, how relationships and experience influence a child's resilience. Secondly, I, indicators of well-being, how we integrate research-informed elements to enhance the well-being of children. Third, S, social emotional development, how we can increase the emotional intelligence of children through everyday interactions. And lastly, E, enhancements, how we can interconnect the whole child to offer the greatest opportunity for wellness and resilience. When we cultivate a child's wellness and resilience, we offer a bright place for children to rise. Rise through difficulty, rise through struggle, rise with the means to manage, restore, and grow. So, as a wife, mother, aunt, sister, daughter, and friend to many parents, I am thankful you are joining on this learning journey with me. For today's topic, we are covering affect management, an element of the social and emotional development section of Rise Wellness and Resilience framework. You'll be hearing from Abby Seifer, therapist for Tanager Place's school-based program. Welcome, Abby.
Thank you for having me.
Abby, you're joining us today as a mom, a therapist, and with a lot of experience and expertise as it relates to wellness in kids' mental health. So tell me a little bit about affect management. What does this mean for parents who are working to cultivate their own child's wellness and resilience?
So when we talk about the term affect management, really what we're talking about is how can I best help my child understand the physical sensations they're experiencing in their body in the moment. We're also serving in the role of a mirror. So we're holding up a mirror towards our child and we're reflecting back the feelings we think they're experiencing and tying it to some sort of context or circumstance in which they're feeling that.
So what does that mean? Like helping a kid navigate their emotions?
Yes. So the term navigate is very intentional. So it's a process. We're helping them learn to understand what's going on in their body and also provide an emotional word to it. So just like any other word in our language, it's something that they have to learn. Children aren't born knowing about emotions and how they feel in our body. So we have to teach them and help them feel safe through that process.
I love that. So what does this look like in action? I know what I hear you saying is help them become kind of aware of those emotions, be almost a mirror to them. What does that look like in action?
I'll share an example from my personal life. I currently have a toddler at home, and this often plays out for us at bath time. So we take a bath every night before our bedtime routine gets started. And she's having fun, she's splashing in the bubbles. And then the minute I set the expectation or the limit that, hey, it's time to get out of the bath, I see a huge emotional response from her. So what I'm going to do to help hold up that mirror and reflect back what I think she's feeling is I'm going to get down to eye level with her. So I'm going to get down on my knees physically. I'm going to look at her in a very calm, non-judgmental way, and I'm going to reflect back what I think she's feeling. So I might say something like, I've noticed that you were having so much fun splashing in the bubbles today, and now that it's time to get out of the bath, you're feeling really sad. I also noticed that you might be feeling really angry, and I can tell by your clenched fists and your face getting all scrunched up in anger, but we need to get out of the bath now. And so by reflecting back those feelings, I'm helping her understand her emotional response in that moment.
I really love that, because when I think about affect management, which is really this topic, that word sometimes feels really big, you know? But what I hear you saying is almost like my opportunity to soothe my child,
Yes.
or to connect with them emotionally in order to help them work through that emotion. and get to a state of interacting in a way that is making us both be able to function and feel calm or more centered in our bodies. So are there certain emotions we should bring to awareness over others? Are they all important, or what does that look like?
That's a really important question to ask. I believe that it's important that we focus and highlight all emotions. We're humans. We have a wide spectrum of emotions that just pop up naturally. It's part of our human experience. And I think we really should try to focus on not only the positive emotions, but also the negative emotions. By doing that, we're normalizing that all emotions are okay. They're going to pop up automatically, and we can instill different skills in our kiddos to empower them to work through those. So in my last example, I gave some reflections about negative emotions my daughter was experiencing. But it's also important in our home, and we try really hard to also reflect back positive feelings. So another example happens around dinner time. She gets really excited when she's sitting in between mom and dad at the dinner table. And this might come across as shrieking or, loud giggles, making lots of noise. And so I would take this opportunity to, again, get down on her level, make eye contact, and reflect back. You're feeling really excited right now sitting in between mom and dad. You're happy you're eating that type of food. And so not only focusing on those negative emotions, but helping her experience and make sense of the positive physical sensations she has too.
This is so interesting because I think a lot in our society, we want to maybe shove away the negative emotions. I think if my kiddo were to fall and get hurt, a lot of standard times I hear, parents say, okay, time to get up. It's okay. You're okay. You're okay. Because we want to move them quickly through any sadness. That's hard for us as parents to see our kids sad or upset. But what I hear you saying is it's important to honor all those emotions, positive ones, the ones in between, times when we may not feel as positive in relation to our emotional state. I'm guessing this has to do with the brain and development for a child. So what might be happening in a child's brain during this time?
Yes. I learned a term one time called the upstairs and the downstairs brain. And I learned this from Dr. Dan Siegel, who is somebody that I would suggest parents research, teachers research. He's written lots of books. But he talks about the difference between the upstairs brain and the downstairs brain, which is pretty simplified but helpful in providing context to what our children might be experiencing in the moment. So when our kids do have these huge emotional responses, we want to think about them being in their downstairs brain, which is the more primitive emotional house of what's happening. The upstairs brain is the part of the brain that we oftentimes expect our kiddos to show up with at school. So it's our thinking part of the brain, problem solving, impulse control, logic part of the brain. But when they're experiencing these really big emotions, they're not able to tap into the upstairs brain, they're in their downstairs brain. So it's helpful as a parent to remind ourselves of that so that we're not approaching them in the moment with our upstairs brain and trying to connect with them on that same level, because we're going to be speaking two different languages and not connecting. We won't get anywhere.
Yeah. So I've heard of this upstairs brain, and I'm guessing it takes a while for the upstairs brain to get fully developed. Yes. So it may be natural for me as a parent to see my child have more maybe emotional responses or bigger feelings at younger stages, and then it starts to develop maybe over time. Is that right? Or
Yes, absolutely. Kids aren't born with the ability to self-soothe on their own, so it's really important that adults are guiding them through that process. And you're right, the upstairs part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, which is our decision-making part of the brain, isn't fully developed actually until the age of 25.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy when you think about it. So we shouldn't expect our 4 or 5-year-olds to be able to do this on their own. We have to help them through that.
Yeah. But I can see, I get frustrated with my 5-year-old when they're, having big emotions, and it's kind of you don't act like this at school. Why are you doing this right now? But it makes sense that that's a natural thing within his development, a part of the brain. And what I heard you say is that the more that I can just be there with him through that and be calm and and reflect those emotions, the more I'm helping his brain develop.
Yes.
Wow, this is so powerful, Abby. Learning about this term of affect management, what it really means, because it's kind of a complex word, or it's not, to me, as easily understood. So I feel like I have a better understanding of what this means. What I really am curious about is diving into how we continue to help kids become aware of this if we know that this is such a vital part to their wellness and resilience. So when we return, I'm excited to dive into this.
Tanager Place is here for children, teens, young adults, and families as they navigate the many stressors of the world today. Tanager inspires, empowers, and heals by providing tools and support needed to navigate the hardships of life and overcome obstacles. Our expertise and specialty trainings offer a wide range of approaches, and we'll join alongside you to create solutions to enhance your wellness. We are here for you and your family, virtually or in person. Tanager Place, your child, our focus.
No matter the challenges you and your family face, Tanager Place is here for you. Our team of specialists in mental, emotional, behavioral, and social health want to join alongside you during these tough times. Tanager will offer the tools needed to inspire, empower, and heal while providing the support you need to build the strongest foundation for success and wellness. We'll meet you wherever you are in your journey and together define a path to reach your goals. Together we rise. Tanager Place, your child, our focus.
Abby, we just learned about what affect management means. Now let's dive into how we can help our kids develop awareness and what they're experiencing emotionally and sensation-wise. So how can we best increase their ability to tolerate and sit with those emotions?
This is really important, and I think more so because we live in a society currently that doesn't tolerate discomfort very well. Our society often tries to numb these feelings, and that can look like lots of different ways. That can be through over-exercising, overworking, food, drugs and alcohol is often used to numb these emotions. And the best thing that we as parents and caregivers can give to our children is the ability to learn about these uncomfortable emotions, this wide range of the human experience, and feel safe enough to sit with that until the wave passes and help teach them that this will pass in time.
How would I teach my child how to calm down? So when that wave feels really big,
Yes.
And like, oh, this is never going to go away and this is hard, how do I teach that the wave does move on and that I can calm down, if you will?
Yes. So it's often thought that kids can do this on their own, and that's expected a lot at home and at school when you think about it. But I really encourage people to think about an infant or a newborn when they come home from the hospital. The minute that baby cries, we don't expect that the parent's not going to feel attuned and respond to that through giving them some sort of soothing, whether that look like rocking or singing or providing nourishment. And we have to remind ourselves too that back to that conversation with the brain, a lot of these parts of the brain aren't fully developed. And so we have to help our kids through this process. And that happens within relationship and oftentimes within a safe adult relationship.
So what I hear you saying, and this is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
When I first became a parent, reading about, helping my child sleep through the night and that they can self-soothe on their own at this magical age. Are there different philosophies around this then?
There are different philosophies around it. And what the brain science now is showing, though, is that we really do need to learn these things within relationship and within the context of adult-child relationship and the safety that comes along with that.
Wow, that's powerful. How might this look and sound in action? What does this look like?
Yeah, so I'll use the example of my daughter again, coming out of the bath. I often resort to deep breathing techniques. And again, the science and the research shows that this is such a powerful anchoring and grounding technique for all humans. Is the minute we can tap into our breath, the more calm and regulated we can feel. And so with my daughter in the bath, once I've gotten done reflecting how I think she's experiencing the moment emotionally, I'm going to provide her with a couple different options for how to feel safe and regulated and get to a regulated state. Again, I'm going to do this with her. That's the really important thing. And so 3 options that I often give parents and kiddos that are really fun and engaging are the tiger breath, the bunny breath, and the snake breath. So these are really fun. And again, you have to be playful when you're doing it with them. Otherwise, they're not going to be as motivated or engaged with you. So all of these start with the foundation of taking in a really big belly breath. So you want your belly to expand. And then we're just going to exhale in different ways. So with the tiger breath, we're going to do a big roar, and they have so much fun with this. And we're going to repeat this between 3 and 5 times, because what we know is that repetition is really important for getting those wires connected in the brain. If they want to do it more, that's great. Do it as much as you want. The bunny breath is similar. It's just a little bit quieter. And so this is something that I sometimes recommend to have happen in the classroom, so it's not quite so disruptive. Again, you're going to take another really deep, big breath in, and that you're going to, when you think about a bunny, they kind of, with their teeth, and they're just going to breathe out in like short bursts. So again, deep breaths in, exhaling like a bunny, and you're going to do that 3 to 5 times or more. And then last but not least, the option of the snake breath, which again, deep breath in, and then you're just going to do a long exhale, making that sound like a snake would. And the really important part of this is to provide choices. So when children are provided choices between 2 and 3, this really gives them ownership of the situation and helps them feel in control. So I would provide 2 to 3 choices that I am okay with them picking. You want to set yourself up and your child up for success. So you're going to want to pick 3 that you're okay with them choosing from. So back to my bath example, I would give my daughter the choices between those different breaths. And then when I notice that her body seems more regulated after that, then I'm going to give her a couple choices to progress in our nighttime routine, because I'm still sticking with our expectation and our structure of nighttime routine. So give her a couple choices. After I reflect back, hey, I've noticed your body seems really calm now. Now it's time to get ready to put on our pajamas. You can have the choice of either running back to the room by yourself or mom can carry you. Either way, I'm happy and okay with the outcome.
I love that. A lot of great information, Abby. One of the things that it made me think about is adolescence then. So I hear you talking about this in relation to littler kids. I'm guessing as adolescents, although your brain is developing more and you have more ability to self-soothe, there are going to be times in which you, or Dr. Siegel would talk about, kind of flip your leg. You lose your cool and you're frustrated. Do parents do the same type of approaches, or what does that look like for older kids?
Yes. You know, if it helps, you can picture your older kid as a younger kid. It's, you know, it sometimes feels easier to connect on that emotional level with younger kiddos. I'm not sure why that is, but it's a reality. And so if it's helpful for you to think of the kiddo as younger, you still need to connect with them on that emotional level. So you're going to reflect the feelings that you see and then provide choices. They're going to be more age-appropriate choices. But yes, the same concept applies to adolescents.
So it's okay for me to say, yeah, school was really hard today. Would you rather do your math first or your science? You pick.
You pick, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I know as parents, it's so hard knowing what to do when our kids have those emotions. And I know for myself, sometimes those emotions come up for me too. So I'm guessing it's important for me to breathe as the parent, make sure I'm in a regulated state so I can offer the best opportunity for my child to then regulate through our interaction. When we come back, we're going to dive into being aware of our own feelings and sensations as parents. So we can do this. We can provide these opportunities for our kiddos.
No matter the challenges you and your family face, Taninger Place is here for you. Our team of specialists in mental, emotional, behavioral, and social health want to join alongside you during these tough times. Taninger will offer the tools needed to inspire, empower, and heal while providing the support you need to build the strongest foundation for success and wellness. We'll meet you wherever you are in your journey and together define a path to reach your goals. Together we rise. Taninger Place, your child, our focus.
Learning your child is touched by autism can be overwhelming, but it can also be a relief to know what is going on and that you are not alone. There are services and people who can help. Taninger Place's Autism Services promote solutions and resources while supporting the needs of individuals touched by autism and their families. Taninger Place offers social skill group sessions which provide a peer environment where kids can learn healthy communication skills, social awareness, and structure in a way that enhances their developmental needs. Taninger Place, your child, our focus.
Tanager Place is here for children, teens, young adults, and families as they navigate the many stressors of the world today. Tanager inspires, empowers, and heals by providing tools and support needed to navigate the hardships of life and overcome obstacles. Our expertise and specialty trainings offer a wide range of approaches, and we'll join alongside you to create solutions to enhance your wellness. We are here for you and your family, virtually or in person. Tanager Place, your child, our focus.
Abby, we just learned about co-regulation. Now let's dive into when it gets messy, when I'm mad, when they're mad, there's yelling. This happens in my household. So where do I go from there?
Yes, real life. We're humans too. You know, the minute we become parents or caregivers, it's not like our emotions go away. We still experience big responses ourselves. And so it's really important that we as adults become more aware of what's happening internally and come from a place of being able to respond as opposed to react in the moment.
So how would I respond versus react? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I often reference what's called the window of tolerance when talking about this concept. And the window of tolerance is something that we all have within us. It changes, the width of it changes from minute to minute, from hour to hour, from day to day. It just depends. But the idea behind this is just what the name implies, that we're able to tolerate a certain degree of stress or uncertainties that are thrown at us while remaining in our window. And that means we're just able to respond in a much more calm and logical way as opposed to matching the other person's big emotions by reacting.
How could I, as a parent or a caregiver, increase this for myself? Like I heard you say the window can change. What influences my window and how do I make my window bigger? Because I don't want to yell.
Yeah, there are ways that we can be intentional in widening our window. And that can look like a variety of different things. For some people, that might look like reaching out to a support in their life to talk through different stressors. For other people, it might look like exercising, engaging in deep breathing or meditation practices. And another thing is just becoming more aware of what's happening internally in our body in terms of sensations and emotions ourselves.
So it's okay for me as a parent to say, Mommy's frustrated, I need to take a break, or to go to the bathroom and just do some deep breathing.
Absolutely. And while you're doing that, you're actually serving as a model for your kids too, for how they can communicate in the future moving forward, how they're feeling. But yes, it's really important that we as caregivers also take time for ourselves to fill our buckets, because that is what's going to widen that window. And sometimes that might look like what in our house we call tapping out. So if you're lucky enough to have another person in the home that can provide care to your child and you know they're going to be able to respond in the moment instead of react, it's okay to recognize I need a break and I'm going to walk away and engage in maybe some deep breathing or go on a quick walk so that when I come back, I can respond.
Good. That makes me feel so much better as a parent. And there's so much shame around this as parents. Like, I need to be perfect all the time and I should be able to stay calm. And it's just not the reality of parenting. Parenting is hard. And it makes me feel better knowing that I can say, Mommy's frustrated right now, or Mommy's feeling angry, Mommy's yelling and I don't want to yell, so I want to take a break. And so thank you for that permission, because this is the part of parenting that sometimes makes me feel down on myself. And I'm sure feeling down on myself certainly doesn't help me continue to be the best parent I can be. So then now that I'm regulated, so I go to the bathroom, take deep breaths, how can I increase my own awareness of what's happening internally for me?
This might sound kind of silly, and this is going to take practice for a lot of people, myself included, but starting to recognize our own internal dialogue. And you can kind of do this throughout the day. So I might, for example, on my drive to work one morning, notice, oh man, my shoulders are super tense right now. I have so many butterflies in my stomach. And then also replaying maybe an interaction I had with my partner that morning in which I was pretty snippy. That is going to be some red flags for me that, hey, my window of tolerance is quite small today. So what can I do to be intentional to increase that. Maybe I'm going to set an alarm for myself to take 10 minutes of deep breathing during my lunch break. Maybe I'm going to call up a coworker and say, hey, can we walk around the block during lunch today? Just to help regulate myself and get myself back in a place that I can respond to people within relationships instead of reacting.
I love that there are tangible things I can do. I know there are times that I'm feeling more stressed as a parent. And so if I've heard you say anything today, it's that in order for me to help model co-regulation and help grow affect management in my child, I got to practice it and know how to be regulated myself. I have to be that mirror for my kiddo so that they can learn those emotions, integrate those emotions, like be with those emotions, and then work through those emotions to continue on throughout their days. Wow, this is such good information and a lot of key takeaways. For parents watching, caregivers watching, grandparents watching, aunts watching, uncles, whoever, what are 1 or 2 key takeaways that you would want them to walk away knowing?
I think the first one being that all emotions are okay and valid, and learning how to normalize that not only within yourself, but also within your children's responses. Second being that the foundation of any of the skills that we've talked about today are not going to be successful if we ourselves are not in a state of calm and regulation. So learning how to be more aware of what's happening within ourselves, and then taking care of what we need to in terms of filling our bucket.
What does that mean to fill my own bucket, fill someone else's bucket, fill your bucket? What's that term mean?
That means to engage in different things that feel good to us and get us back into a place of centeredness. So that might look like taking a minute to drink a warm cup of coffee. That might look like spending time with friends or people that are important to us. It'll look different for everybody, but just things that feel good to us and help us feel better every day.
Wow, thank you so much, Abby, for joining us today and for sharing your expertise.
Learning your child is touched by autism can be overwhelming, but it can also be a relief to know what is going on and that you are not alone. There are services and people who can help. Tanager Place's Autism Services promote solutions and resources while supporting the needs of individuals touched by autism and their families. Tanager Place offers social skill group sessions which provide a peer environment where kids can learn healthy communication skills, social awareness, and structure in a way that enhances their developmental needs. Tanager Place, your child, our focus.
Being a teenager is hard. If you're a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer questioning teen, Tanager Place is here for you. The LGBTQ Center at Tanager Place provides a safe and confidential environment for LGBTQ youth, families, and allies. Programs at the center are diverse and include support groups, special art offerings, mentoring programs, Pride Cafe, community service, health initiative classes, parenting workshops, financial literacy, tutoring, and career exploration. The center is a place to come, fit in, and belong. Being a part of the center is a great way to meet new people and build a support network. To learn more about events and group activities, visit tangerplace.org. Tanager Place, your child, our focus.
Thank you for being with us and taking time out of your day to learn alongside us in order to offer a bright place for the children in your lives to rise. Today's series brought to you by Tanager Place and the Meraki Institute of Learning. For more information, please visit our website at www.tanagerplace.org.